Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I was humbly wasting away my time on Pinterest when I stumbled upon this picture. Now this picture shows the most theory of all time. It's absolutely terrible and I hate so much, so I immediately opened the comments to leave a paragraph of a hate comment insulting this guy's whole bloodline when I saw this comment. There's sadly a very known Omori AU called Hands where Mari sa Sunny, she also wants to sa Aubrey, Basil, and Kel, and Sunny pushes her because he knew what she was going to do to him. Forgot the creator of the O, but there's a wiki of it and the fanfic is on AO3 I think. So I got curious, and you know what they say. Curiosity killed the cat, and it sure did, but without further delay, let's begin. Welcome to the Omori Hands O. Let's begin. When she was old enough to know about certain things, Mari would practice them on Sunny. Things that made him feel weird and uncomfortable and caused him to question her love. She always shushed him when he expressed the desire to tell someone else about it. Besides, who would believe that someone as perfect as Mari would do such things? He daydreams too much as well. How can you trust the words of someone whose head was in the clouds? Sunny. I love you, she would say to him during those nights that filled him with a fear of intimacy, that made him want to curl up into a ball and be quiet. He was happy that they had separate beds, but sometimes she'd come into his under the pretense of him having nightmares. It didn't help that he did wish for her comfort when he actually had nightmares. After all, a part of him couldn't help but still love her in the way siblings normally should. Welcome to White Space. You've been here for as long as you can remember. Omori enjoyed the main section of White Space. He had a computer. He had a light. He had a cat. It was everything he needed. But venturing outside of the blanked-out quilt was a different story. Red hands roamed the blank expanse. If they ever sense him, they rushed over to make him unsafe, take him and put him in his place and bring him back. It was nerve-wracking, annoying. Though Sunny feared intimacy, he loved his friends. But he did not like seeing Mari hang out with Hiro. It felt like Hiro was being lied to. While everyone else believed that Mari was a good person, Hiro believed her to be perfect. Sunny wanted to tell him what Mari does. That despite all the lovey-dovey talk and touches and kisses, Mari was more intimate with her own little brother than him. But Sunny couldn't bring himself to tell. Even when Mari practiced with Sunny things she wanted to do to Hiro, he couldn't bear telling. He didn't want to ruin Hiro's happiness. He didn't want to ruin anyone's happiness. He didn't want to shatter Aubrey's image of a kind older sister, or the reverence that Kel and Basil had for her. Besides, he was grateful to his friends. Them being around made it less likely for his sister to try something. A door soon appeared in White Space. On the other side of it was Omori's dear friends, dressed for an eternal sleepover. Sleepovers were good. Something never happened when everyone was sleeping over. Though, Omori couldn't remember what that something was. Come on, Omori. We can't leave Basil and Mari waiting. Kel shouted at him. Omori found it hard to express enthusiasm properly, but he followed his friends along. In an idealized version of a park far away, Mari sat on a picnic blanket with Basil. As Omori would soon learn, she would always be confined to a picnic blanket for her safety as well as Sunny's. Hi Omori. We're going to make flower crowns today. Basil greeted. He had a whole bunch of flowers already prepared for the occasion. Just let me know if you need help with it, little brother, Mari said. All it costs is your love. Sunny awoke with a start from that, a sense of nausea hitting him. That's what she always said when he needed a favor. Then she would do something. He didn't care if his mother was awake or not. He rushed to the bathroom to throw up in the toilet. After an agonizing minute of shaking, he flushed it all down. Sunny then made the mistake of looking into the mirror. There she was standing behind him with a crooked neck. It's not just the cursed resemblance of a hanged corpse that terrified him. It's the fact that her head looked like it was trying to lean on him. Sunny collapsed to his knees, tears forming. I hate you so much, was one thought that came to mind. "I love you and I'm sorry," was another. There was still a bit of sincere love in there. He stayed there for a while to calm down. He murmured the words that Basil told him, saying that everything is going to be okay. He just needed to push it all away. Mari committed suicide. Mari never molested him. Mari is the good sister that everybody loves. Just need to push it all down. In the past, Sunny doubted if Mari truly had love for him. But those doubts were brought into question by the lake incident. Sunny coughed up water in his sister's embrace. He nearly drowned that day, but his sister had personally dove in and saved his life. "I'm so glad you're okay, I'm here for you," she whispered into his ear, a whisper that didn't make him want to flinch away for once. It was genuinely reassuring. It made him feel safe. It made Sunny feel conflicted. She was his monster, but she was also his savior. Maybe that face that she puts on around the others was sincere to some extent. Maybe she was still the sister that he adored. In the dream world, Mari stuck to that ideal. She was Omori's big sister who would never hurt him, who was the shining beacon to everyone in the group without the horrible interests lying underneath. This was the version of Mari that Sunny would remember. Everything else became forgotten in his period of self-isolation. For years later, he was out of the house with Kel. Sunny and his mom were moving in a few days, and Sunny figured that he should finally see his friends again one last time. Then, he would be away from far away and the unease in his heart. Mari seemed like a taboo subject. Only Kel brought it up, and Aubrey just threw it back at his face. Sunny was upset by how Mari's death affected her. However, part of it made him feel genuinely nauseous, though he did not know why. After the church incident, Sunny and Kel saw Aubrey throwing out Basil's photo album. He loved Basil, he really did. But for some reason, Sunny felt sick to be around him. However, the least he could do was give him back his precious album. "Ah yeah, we did it. High five, Sunny." Kel offered up his hand. Sunny stared at it quizzically. Then he reciprocated. It was a weak clap, but Kel was happy that Sunny gave him a high five. Deep down, Sunny was happy too because it was the first time he accepted someone's touch in years. Something was at the top of the stairs. Its hands reached out to grab at him, beckoning him to come into its embrace as a safe space from the height. Her words about calming down came to mind. It was the stuff that Mari told him when she rescued him from the lake and he was still panicking. It was another contradiction in his mind, being told to calm down by the person that caused him the most distress, a reminder that she was always there. He calmed down. The hands of something was gone. She was gone. It's just a normal staircase. In the present, Sunny was at Basil's house with Kel. All three of them were together again, looking through Basil's photo album. Sunny wanted to cry looking through the memories and the good times lost in the past. But there was something missing. Kel was the one that brought up the obvious. "Hey, some of these pictures are missing. Aubrey must still have a few." Sunny glanced up and saw Basil looking at him in concern. "Everything is going to be okay, Sunny. She won't hurt you anymore." Something crawled out, grinning. Its limbs reached out to grab at its prey, making Sunny flinch and scream in his head. Sunny found himself trapped in a web, stuck in its embrace, stuck with her dash. But then he remembered Mari's words on focusing. It can't be that bad. If he couldn't focus on playing well, he could do something else for her. Sunny found himself taking deep breaths, and soon the sensations and sights he was experiencing were gone. It was just a tiny spider at the top of the stairs, but Sunny could swear there was something more to it. Omori was all alone with Mari, traveling the ocean in search of lost friends. It was because of her that he overcame his fear of swimming, and he was grateful for it. And Sunny should be too. At the end of a pier, there was a whirlpool leading elsewhere. Before Omori could continue on, Mari grabbed his arm. She gave him a gentle smile. "You know, Omori, it's been a long time since we've been alone together." She got uncomfortably close. Why don't we have a little fun? We are at less than half of chapter 1, but I really need a small break from this. Holy shit, I hate this so much. Mari's my favorite character from the original Omori. She reminds me of my own elder sister and how things were between us on the past, and well, this fucking text twists that idea of a kind elder sister that I had of Mari, but it hits particularly hard since I felt so close to this character, and I'm sure some of you guys feel the same way. But, let's continue. Back to reading. No. Sunny's mind screamed out, but he didn't particularly understand why. Omori suddenly found himself in the whirlpool, being sucked into parts unknown. Omori soon found Kel again. They ran into Mari again, safely confined to the picnic quilt. Everything is going to be okay. Nothing will happen. Something entangled him in the water. He could feel the sensation of someone's hair draping over him, their limbs entangling with his, forcefully gripping him, telling him that she loves him. He remembered a distant memory of a kind sister saving his life. But nothing else. He was too busy trying to persist to think of anything more complex. Eventually, he blacked out. When he came to, he saw Hiro, all grown up and mature, staring at him with relief. Sweetheart flirted with Hiro. The slime girls flirted with Hiro. That's the way it should be. Older women flirting with someone closer to their age. They'd be creeps if it happened to Omori. Omori was so grateful that he couldn't think of anyone that'd make him feel that way. He loved his sister. She would never hurt him. Sunny. I love you. Something floated behind Omori in black space. Its hair draped over him, and if it had any limbs, it'd entangle with his. There was a little piece of something on the floor that Omori stepped on. It moaned, made a noise Omori couldn't place. This is just her love. Why did you kill her, liar? They were putting the album back together. Mari's face stared up at Sunny for the first time in years. While everyone looked at the photos with deep longing, Sunny felt. He wasn't sure what he felt. He couldn't remember what he truly felt about her, and he hated himself for it. Sunny knew that he felt a pang of sadness when he saw the picture of Mari carrying him when he fell asleep. But deep down, there was bile rising in his throat. He felt that sense of bile in his dreams last night, when those bits of something were scattered on the snowy stairs. He woke up with a sickening churn when he saw Omori surrounded by hands. When his hallucination of Mari appeared in the piano room though, she was very kind and reassuring. Why did she make him feel so sick? Sunny loved music. Despite his cautious attitude toward his sister, he liked to pop into her piano room to hear her play. At one point, he even played along with a tiny violin that the family owned, and she found it so endearing. These were some of the times that he cherished. Mari was barely around anymore. And as stressed as she got, she never tried to do something because she was just that tired from her extra activities. She tried her best to be a good big sister. The only time Sunny got to spend with Mari was with the face of her that he sincerely loved. That Christmas, things changed. His friends had all pitched in to get him a gift, his very own violin. He took a moment to play a string, and he felt uplifted in doing so. Everyone looked so happy for him and he wanted to play for their sakes. But as the night started to wind down, Sunny was approached by Mari. Her arms wrapped around him. Sunny. I feel that we're going to be spending more time together from now on. Aren't you happy? And he would soon learn that she had signed them up to play at a recital together. It was originally just her, but she decided to sign him on after a few months of fiddling with the violin. Which would mean spending more time with her alone to practice. He was scared of her wasn't interested. But Sunny couldn't tell her no. She worked hard to get him a violin. Everyone did. He just needs to accept whatever happens for their sake and play them a show they'll enjoy. The violin was smashed on the ground. He couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't take the high pressure of the recital. He couldn't take his sister's criticisms. He couldn't take the return of her awful behavior. He was old enough now to know how vile it all truly was, but she just kept pressing him on. Mari glanced down at the mess before shooting Sunny an intense glare. The same one she gives him before she punished him for a mistake. How could you do that? Especially right before the recital. Sunny stumbled back. Even at her worst, she never yelled at him before, and experiencing it made him want to freeze up. However, he stood his ground. I can't keep playing the violin. I can't do it. And I don't like being around you. Mari smiled, yet it was laced with venom. You shouldn't be rude to your sister. Sunny could hear memories of his own voice pleading quietly to her from the floor of the piano room. You're such a good listener, you know. Why push it? Everyone's much happier when you're a good boy that just listens to people venting their frustrations. She got close to him. And this was always my way of venting, Sunny. Do you know how hard it is to try to be perfect? How stressful it is? But you always made me feel good. At least until now. Sunny yelped as Mari suddenly pushed him against the wall. But I can say that what you just did was an accident. After all, you don't want to let everyone down, right? They worked so hard to buy that for you and you worked so hard on this recital, and you just threw it all away. Sunny started to panic, but Mari's hands kept him pinned to the wall. He had many reasons to panic, but one of those reasons was that she was right. How could he throw away the hard work of everyone else? One of her hands caressed his cheek. But I forgive you, Sunny. I'll lie for you and say it was an accident. All it costs is your love. Normally, Sunny would freeze and accept what happens. But he couldn't take it anymore. I'm sorry, but please don't touch me. Why shouldn't I? I have some stress to relieve, anyway. Don't you love your big sister? Mari, please. The hand on his cheek slapped him. She smiled so sweetly. I'm sorry I hit you, but you shouldn't have made me done it. I love you, you know. That hand reached down toward his pants aggressively. Despite the face she put on, Sunny knew that she was stressed and angry. She didn't bother with the gentle coaxing or the kind gestures that made Sunny confused that she normally did. This was punishment, and it was going to be worse than anything else she subjected him to. Get off of me. Summoning all his strength, he pushed. Sunny curled up, crying. Sunny. Basil walked up the stairs, giving Sunny a look of concern. Sunny forgot in this horrible moment that he was coming to sleep over before the recital. Basil reached out a reassuring hand, but Sunny flinched away. His blonde friend looked sick. Basil, where's Mari? He quietly asked. Basil's eyes drifted to the bottom of the stage, a nervous sneer developing on his face before returning to Sunny. Sunny. I heard and saw everything. For Sunny, everything froze. Sunny. What did Mari do to you? Something hung from the tree. Sunny and Basil went inside, shaking. They were haunted by what they did, and by the sight of Mari's corpse staring at them. For both, it glared its condemnation at them, but for Sunny, it felt something more predatory. Basil wanted to comfort Sunny, but he was scared of trying. He remembers how limp he got when he comforted him when Mari failed to wake up upstairs, and it acted as a warning not to touch him. Basil had one more idea, though. Sunny, we should write a note. Sunny didn't want to speak, but he gave his friend a confused look. You know, a suicide note. And, Basil murmured, looking at nothing in particular. They need to know, Sunny. We'll make her confess everything she did and say that the guilt drove her to. Sunny shook his head. He didn't want to do that. Her death would already shake everyone enough. If they knew how much of a monster she was, it'd break them. But she hurt you, Sunny. Sunny shook his head again. To him, it was better to hide it away. For their sake, they must never know. Why? You're right. Maybe it's something else. A manic expression started to form on Basil's face. No, it was something else, wasn't it? Something pushed her down the stairs, right, Sunny? You're too good of a person, right? And Mari, she's also a good person. She couldn't have done that to you. It has to be something else, right? Yeah, something else tried to hurt you, and she came in to rescue you, and something pushed her. Sunny remembered everything. He woke with a start, initially just staring at the ceiling. His insides felt like a horrible mix of grief, guilt, and utter disgust. He wanted to cry. He wanted to leave everyone and go take a shower to wash away the memories of her hands and her touch. But Basil. He needed help. On that day, Basil created his own distorted reality before Sunny crafted one in his dream world. Sunny wasn't surprised. Basil saw her as the older sister he never had, after all. If not even Basil will believe him, who will? Sunny willed himself to stand. With one last longing look at the rest of his friends, he headed straight for Basil's room. Omori was supposed to protect him from the truth. The truth that he was a murderer and that his victim was hardly an innocent person. The truth that everyone's image of their beloved big sister is a lie. But Sunny unraveled all of that. All there's left to protect him from is the pain of breaking everyone's hearts. And so, you should just die. Omori struck at Sunny with his knife. He kept his completely neutral expression on his face, showing no malice in wanting Sunny to kill himself. To him, this is something that objectively should happen. Sunny played on the violin as he took cuts. While Omori's expression was stoic, Sunny could see him cringe in response to his playing. Something about it just felt right. It grounded him and reminded him of the love he had for his friends and Dash. Did he love her? With that doubt, white space began to melt away, revealing the dark void of red hands that was black space. Sunny recoiled at seeing the hands, now knowing what they represent. A few hands grabbed onto Omori. He quietly accepted their hold, his blank expression at that moment reading to Sunny as the expression of somebody that's given up. You should have let her do what she wanted. You loved her. Your friends loved her. It was selfish of you to take her away for your own sake. Sunny hesitated. He remembered that line of thinking, the one he held before he chose to bury it all. If he was a good little brother, none of this would have happened. No one's heart would be broken. Omori took the opportunity to deliver a stab into Sunny's stomach. He doubled over in pain, even though he wasn't actually harmed. His violin fell to the floor. The hands quickly attacked. Sunny remembered some small moments with Mari. He wanted to scream. The memories hurt more than the pain Omori was delivering. You loved her and you killed her, Omori said, standing above Sunny's battered form. The hands threatened to coil around Sunny, just like they used to. You should just die. No, Sunny said quietly. The hands froze, not expecting any further resistance from him. Omori tilted his head, as if confused that Sunny would hold on. Sunny found the strength to stand back up. I did love her. And I did kill her, Sunny admitted. But, she loved me and she hurt me, he continued. He shuddered at the sight of the hands before him, which were making for another reach. Sunny found the courage to push them aside. That doesn't mean what I did was right, and it doesn't mean that part of me doesn't love her, but, she hurt me. She raped me. She made me feel scared all the time and I just closed off because I didn't want to hurt anyone, Sunny rambled. Though his violin laid on the floor, he could imagine what would have been if that day never happened. He and Mari could have played a successful duet that friends and family would have loved. Just thinking about it reminded him of all the good times he had with Mari and their friends. He ruined all of it. No. Those moments were already ruined, soured by Mari's treatment of him. And it's something that Sunny had to acknowledge. Sunny walked up to Omori, who stared at him motionlessly. Her hands still held on to his body parts, caressing softly. Sunny yanked Omori away from the hold of the hands and pulled him into an embrace. She hurt us, Omori, and we'll keep hurting ourselves if I don't tell anyone, he whispered. And what I did was an accident, but she did all that on purpose. He can feel Omori slowly nod. Omori raised his arms and returned the hug. The hands disappeared, never to touch again. The only touching was the hug Sunny and Omori shared. It was a hug they were both comfortable with. Sunny opened the door. Hiro, Aubrey, and Kel stood around Basil's bed. Basil was still out of it, but their presence would give him something to look forward to. The friends looked at Sunny in surprise, and he couldn't blame them with how wobbly his walk was. He didn't feel healthy, but this was something that had to be done as soon as possible. Looking at the group before him, Sunny felt the powerful feeling that something was missing. No, someone. But he had to get rid of that feeling, because it was someone associated with painful memories. Sunny appreciated the good times he had with Mari, but the full truth behind her shouldn't be suppressed any longer. Sunny had to come clean, for the sake of his friends and for his own. I have to tell you something. With that, we can finally conclude chapter 1, out of 4. That sure was something. So, what do I think about this? First of all, I was just shocked. After finishing this story, I just stared at my screen for a moment, taking it all in. It's a lot. Truly. Seeing this character, someone I had formed such a deep emotional connection to, someone who reminded me so much of my own sister, twisted into this disgusting monster. This Mari, if she can even be connected to the real Mari from the game, wasn't killed in a petty argument, or however you like to see it in canon. This Mari died because of her own terrible actions. She's an unredeemable piece of shit monster. And yeah, I know what I'm writing is not gonna be accurate because I'm really pissed, but she tormented her own younger brother for years, from manipulating him to tormenting him repeatedly by raping him. Since the story makes it clear that there were more times than what was shown on the screen, it means that she abused or tried to abuse Sunny dozens of times. And you know what makes this shit even worse? Despite sexually abusing Sunny, Mari was dating Hiro at the same time, meaning that she was also cheating on Hiro and didn't love him either. She did like one good thing in the whole chapter, that being saving Sunny from drowning, but this wasn't because she cared about him, this was because if Sunny died she would have lost her toy. And now let's talk a little bit about the recital itself. Duet was a show that was originally hers, but she included Sunny not because he was good, she included Sunny only so she could spend more time abusing him. Unlike in the original story, Sunny doesn't break the violin because he feels he isn't good enough. He broke the violin because he couldn't take Mari's abuse anymore. And in his immature mind, this seemed like a solution to the problem. But instead of stopping, Mari saw this as an opportunity to abuse him again, to blackmail him into accepting this abuse once more. She told him that he was a better person accepting this. That he should accept her venting out her frustrations on him. And that if he didn't resist she would tell everyone it was an accident. Sunny begged her not to do it, but she didn't care. She slapped him after his resistance. And she said, "I'm sorry I hit you, but you shouldn't have made me do it. I love you, you know." After that she reached for Sunny's zipper. Sunny couldn't take this anymore so he pushed her. This led to her deserved death. Her death is simply justice trough and trough. All of the terrible things she did to her own brother. And even after being such a terrible fucking monster, Sunny still feels remorse for killing her. This doesn't change anything because he only did this trying to defend himself. This Mari is just narcissistic. Manipulative. Piece of shit. And there's nothing good about her. People like this don't deserve any sort of redemption or forgiveness. That good side Sunny sees isn't real. It's such a well put up mask of kindness that even he can't see past it at times. Mari doesn't care about Sunny, Mari doesn't love Sunny. She just seeks pleasure for herself without thinking about the damage she could be doing to him. Sunny was just a kid, he was innocent and he probably didn't understand what was going on, and she took advantage of that fact to fulfill her disgusting sexual fantasies. She absolutely deserved to die. Monsters like these could be anyone, no matter how good, kind, or caring the person might be, anyone could do this kind of thing. But anyone could also suffer from them. So please, my dear viewer, look out for your friends and family and ask them about how they're doing, because you never know what could be happening behind closed doors. Anyways, that's chapter 1. I'll be diving into chapter 2 soon, if my heart can take it. Thanks for watching, and if you've read Hands, or you're planning to, let me know your thoughts in the comments. With that said, goodbye.